So, I don't know much about Zimbabwe outside of what's all over the media, which is rapid inflation, a decline in economy, currency devaluation, and so on. Now, although some of these things might be true, you know I'm not going to let that stop me from visiting Zimbabwe and seeing what it's like from a tourist perspective. As always, we're going to be checking out things to do in the city, including attractions, nightlife, my accommodations, and more, so that you can get a feel for things to do in the city in case you decide to visit. So sit back and get comfortable as we check out Harare, Zimbabwe. For those that don't know, Zimbabwe is located in southern Africa, with Zambia to the north, Mozambique to the east, South Africa to the south, and Botswana to the west. Harare is its capital city and has a pretty big population of about 2.4 million people. Now, when I first arrived in Harare, I had no idea what to expect, especially when it came to the money. Zimbabwe has been experiencing hyperinflation for years now. You can get a whole brick of these 100 Zimbabwe dollar notes and it will only be worth 10 US dollars, which is wild. But what I quickly learned is that everyone in the country uses the US dollar, which eased my concerns immediately. You even pull US dollars out when you go to the ATMs, so it's all good. So, one of the first places I decided to visit on this trip was the Lion Park. About 30 minutes outside of the city center, the Lion Park is a great place to experience some wildlife. You can visit the park alone, with family, or on a date and still have a good time. The park has all kinds of animals, including ostriches, wolves, hyenas, and much more. But my favorite part about the park was hanging with the baby lions. I know they don't look like babies, but the staff assured me that they were. Now, after some time with the cubs, the adult lions on the other side of the gate started going crazy, so I had to get up out of there. But this was a great experience that I'm sure I'll never forget. Right outside of the main park, they also have a self-drive game reserve. During the drive, you'll see giraffe, zebra, and other non-predators. And most of them don't even run from you, which is kind of cool. So upon heading back to the city center, I met a few people while out and about and was invited out for drinks and dancing. The first club that we went to was the club Karma Lifestyle. The DJ was very good and it was cool and all, but the vibes weren't there this night. It was kind of empty and it felt more like a fashion show, but I still had a good time. The next spot that we went to was Evitro. Now, we had a blast here. Good drinks, great DJ, and everybody was very cool. I didn't get much footage of how it looked before it got too packed, as we were taking shots and partying hard. But trust me, it was definitely a good time. We went to a few other spots, but by that time, your boy was on cloud 9 and feeling terrific. But believe me, you'll definitely have a good time with Harare's night scene. So, after a night of partying, me and a friend I met from the night before decided to go to a place we both heard a lot about, which was Chinoi Caves. The caves were about 2 hours from the city center, so I got a chance to see some small towns along the way and also some of the countryside. When we arrived at the park, we went straight to the caves, as we kept hearing about how beautiful they were. At the entrance to the caves, I ain't gonna lie, it looks pretty spooky, but extremely beautiful at the same time, as you have to hike down this little tunnel to get to the bottom. The Chinoi Caves hold a rich history dating back centuries. These limestone caves have served as a sacred site for local tribes and later became a crucial refuge during times of conflict. The crystal clear underground pool, known as the Pool of the Ancients, creates kind of a mystical atmosphere. We were down here alone, so we were able to sit, relax, and just reflect on life. Definitely worth the trip. So on the way out, it started to rain. so we didn't get a chance to see the lions or engage in other activities at the park, but it was all good, as this was the last leg of a multi-country tour through Africa, and I was in need of some sleep. The next day, I decided to check out a few of the museums here in Harare, starting with the National Gallery of Zimbabwe. The museum was pretty awesome to say the least. It's packed with amazing artwork from talented local and international artists. Like most museums, it has a lot of unique pieces, and it's actually one of my favorite art museums in Southern Africa. If you find yourself in Harare and love art, this museum is definitely a must visit. I also visited the Zimbabwe Museum of Human Sciences as well. It pretty much takes you on a journey through time, showcasing the evolution of humanity with fascinating artifacts and exhibits of ancient civilizations. You get to see mind-blowing things you probably have never heard of around every corner, making it an awesome destination for history buffs and curious minds. While in Harare, I also got to see some nature right in the city, in a place called Mukuvizi Woodlands. Here, you get a chance to witness giraffes, zebras, and other wildlife while they're feeding, and get an up-close and personal encounter with these amazing creatures. This was actually the main reason I came to the Woodlands. It's very family friendly, and it's not a lot of people, which is what I was in the mood for this day. The walking trails wind through the woodlands and not only give you a chance to burn some extra calories, but also an opportunity to experience nature in central Harare, away from the hustle and bustle of daily life. Definitely a cool place to visit, right inside the city. Now, as far as my accommodations, I stayed at the Holiday Inn Harare, which I heard was one of the best hotels in the city. I'm not gonna lie though, it was not what I expected. The first room they gave me had one of the worst internet connections. They gave me a broken chair, which had me laid out on the floor when I sat on it, and it was missing a refrigerator that was supposed to come with the room. However, the customer service was great, and they did upgrade me to a better room. The breakfast at the hotel was amazing each day, and they had an excellent gym. Overall, Harare, Zimbabwe is definitely a country that I can't wait to explore more of. The people here are very kind and friendly. There's quite a bit to explore right outside the city, and it's an all-around laid-back place to visit. I wish I could have stayed longer. As far as visa requirements, US citizens do need a visa, which you can obtain at the airport upon arrival. Prior to coming, I heard the visa on arrival process was a hassle here in Zimbabwe, but that wasn't the case for me at all. It was a very smooth and quick process, and I had no issues whatsoever. If you've been to Harare before, or you're from here, let me know some things I can get into during my next visit, because I'm definitely coming back. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.